Hello everyone, welcome to the new video on the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner practice exam questions for the newer version. In our YouTube channel, I already posted the sample set of questions which are all part of CLF-C01. Now, as the new version of the exam got introduced, we are going to see the new set of exam questions. This is again a debriefing video. I will just take you through, read the question, and try to understand how I can answer that question. Negotiation. It is like all about how I can eliminate the option which is not possible. All the exam strategies and everything. This video will be a kind of an walkthrough for you on how you can attempt the exam, how you can take the key things from the exam questions, and how you can eliminate the wrong accents, wrong answers, and everything. Right. So we will just take you through this one. Right. So this is the new stuff. Earlier, the AWS sample exam questions are available in the form of the PDF files, but now everything got moved to the AWS Skill Builder. So I just opened my AWS Skill Builder for that Cloud Practitioner official practice test. So there are some 20 questions which needs to be popped up, and we will try to answer all those 20 questions now. I'm just clicking the start button. I just clicked on the start button now. Now we will see. Right. First question: which credential components are required to gain the programmatic access to AWS account? This is a straightforward question from my point of view. Typically, we need an access key ID and secret access key. All the other options are not correct. I think these two are the correct answers. Yes. So if you got the answer correct, we will get that green screen. So your answer and correct answer, we got both the answers correct. I'm moving on. A company requires an encrypted connection between company's on-premises services and AWS. The connection must use company's existing internet connection. Slightly tricky. We'll see. AWS Direct Connect and AWS Site to Site VPN are the ideal choices here. Amazon Connect is all about contact center, CloudFront is all about CDN. But here there is a clear mention of existing internet connection and encrypted connection between. So typically, AWS Direct Connect is not an encrypted connection. Site to site VPN can be the encrypted connection. Slightly tricky question, but we can finally, between direct connect and site to site VPN, site to site can be the right choice. Yes, we got it correct. So all the detailing is provided here. Please go through all these details. Why it is correct, why it is incorrect, and all those details. Company is hosting a static website from the single S3 bucket, which AWS service will achieve lower latency and high transfer speeds. Okay. Beanstalk cannot be the right choice. It's a pass. DynamoDB accelerator cannot be right choice. Route 53 cannot be right choice. CloudFront can be the right choice. It's like simple elimination technique. We also know it, right? Route 53 is a DNS service. It's not related to anything related to high transfer speed and low latency. So CloudFront can be the right choice. Correct. Yes, we got it correct. Moving on. Which AWS service allows customers to purchase unused EC2 instance often discounted? It's straightforward. It's a spot instances, as simple as it is. Yes, right. So reserved instances, no, not these three. Spot instances are the ones which AWS offers in the discounted rate. Unused EC2 capacity. Right. Yes, spot instances is the correct choice. Moving on. A company has an on-premises Linux-based server with an Oracle database runs on it. Company wants to migrate the database server to run on Amazon EC2 instance in AWS. Which service provide the company to complete the migration? Okay. Database migration service, migration hub, application discovery is completely wrong. This is nowhere related to migration hub as well is not correct. But between these two, database migration services and application migration, Let me read it again. Linux based server with Oracle database runs on it. Okay, the company wants to migrate the database server to Amazon EC2 instance, right? Typically DMS is used to migrate the on premises databases to databases in AWS, say like AWS RDS or AWS Redshift or whatever. But this is not the case here. They are asking about EC2 instance. So typically the application migration service can be the right choice. It's a tricky question to answer. Let's see. Yes, it's correct actually. So it's why it is not the case? Say same, right? We, as we already discussed, it is used to migrate the data from on-premises database to databases in AWS. For that case only, DMS comes in. Moving on, which of the functionalities are characteristics of Amazon S3? Global file system, object store, correct. Local file store, no. Network file system, no. Durable storage system is correct. It's not a global file system, right? So typically object store and durable storage system are the correct answers. Correct. It's an easy question only, not a complicated question. Company is moving all of their development activities to AWS. Company wants a solutions to store and manage their developer source code. Developer source code. That this is the key term. This is the key term. Developer source code. Typically, code build and code pipeline cannot be the right choice. Code artifact and code commit. Between code artifact and code commit, I will go for code commit. Why? Because there is a clear mention about source code here. There is nothing about the artifacts or anything. It is all about code. So typically code commit can be right choice. Yes, code commit is the right choice. Moving on. What are all the benefits of using AWS cloud for companies with customers in many countries around the world? With many countries around the world. Okay. Companies can deploy applications in multiple AWS regions. Correct choice. Translate is nowhere related to the question. No, completely wrong. CloudFront can be a wisest option. Comprehend, again, it's not at all relevant to the question. Elastic load balancing can distribute application web traffic to multiple regions around the world and reduces latency. This cannot be the correct answer. Why? Because load balancing cannot put it in the cross zone. Load balancing is available. Cross region load balancing is not available. So typically CloudFront can be the alternative, additional second choice. Let us see. Yes, that's correct. So load balancing, a load balancer attempts incoming traffic, so route registered targets in one or more availability zones. Correct. Load balancer does not accept targets across regions. This is what which we already discussed. So fantastic. Moving on. How does AWS charge for AWS Lambda usage once for free tier has been exceeded? Okay. By the time for Lambda function to run, ideally a correct choice. Number of versions of specific Lambda. What is there? This is not going to make any changes on the cost. By the number of requests made to the Lambda function, this can be the right choice. By the programming language, no, completely no. There is no relationship between programming language and cost. By the total number of Lambda functions in AWS accounts, no, this cannot be. This is the right choice. By the total number of running Lambda functions can be the right choice here. This is just a total number of Lambda functions. So typically this is not the right choice, between A and C only. Yes, obviously we got it right. I am just moving on to next question. A company requests a relational database on AWS that records new customer orders from the website. Relational database is Amazon Aurora. It's a pretty straightforward one. Global Accelerator is not relational database. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database. EBS is the block store volume which we can attach to EC2 instances. So Aurora can be the right choice here. Correct. Moving on. What is the minimum AWS support from that provides the technical support through phone calls? As per my understanding, it will be business. We already covered this in our previous videos where we discussed in detail. We had pasted the complete photograph of whatever which is provided on individual support plans. I think business can be the right choice here. Yes, business is the minimal support plan which provides 24/7 or telephone kind of a support. Moving on. a company wants to create learning applications for students. The learning application must give students and the option to choose a button to have text to read out loud to them. So typically this is text to speech. Text to speech is Polly parrot, speaking parrot. Amazon Polly is the speaking parrot which will do text to speech. Transcribe is typically, I think it is other way around. Speech to text. Translate is used for translation, and extract is used to extract the text out of the image. So typically Polly can be the right choice. Correct, right? Polly is the right choice which will convert text to speech. Moving on. User develops an RDSDB instance in multiple availability zones. This strategy involves which pillar of AWS well architected framework? So AWS well architected framework comes with 6 pillars basically. All these 4 pillars are there. Along with that, we are having operational excellence and also sustainability. But moving on to the question now, which strategy, which specific strategy deploying RDS in multiple availability zones? It's not cost optimization, it's not security, it is between performance efficiency and reliability. But again, multi AZ is not a performance efficiency. Scalability can be a performance efficiency, it is a reliability typically. Right, I think it is correct. Yes, reliability is the correct choice. Performance efficiency, ability to use computing resources efficiently to meet the system requirements. Right, demand changes as the technologies evolves. Does not increase performance efficiency. Correct. Moving on. A company wants to establish a consistent and private connection from company's on-premises data center to AWS cloud. We faced similar kind of question earlier. Uh, in the earlier question, there is a mention about encrypted connection using internet. For that, we chose site-to-site VPN, but this is a different thing. It's a private connection from on-premises data center. It's a straightforward. It's a direct connect. Direct connect is the private connectivity from on-premises data center to AWS cloud. Moving on, what are all the advantages of deploying an application in EC2 instances in multi-AZ? Okay, preventing single point of failure. Correct answer. Reducing the operational cost. No, there is no cost associated with this. Allowing the application to serve cross-region users with low latency. No, multi-AC is restricted to single region. There is no cross region. Increasing the availability is always correct. Increasing the load is no. So typically by the simple choice of elimination, we can arrive to these two answers actually. These two answers are the correct choices. Moving on. User needs to automatically discover, classify and protect sensitive data stored in S3. Straightforward answer is Amazon Macy. Why? Because automatic detection of sensitive data on S3 buckets is done using AWS Macy, which does machine learning and everything. It will mine the data stored in S3 and it will identify if any personally identifiable information is stored in the S3 bucket. Straightforward one. Yes, Macy is the correct choice. Moving on, each department within the company has its own independent AWS account and own payment method. The company needs to centralize departmental governance and consolidate payments. So, ideal options are typically consolidated billing. Consolidated billing, AWS organizations can be the correct choice. Create an organization in AWS organizations. This is the only thing, right, which will provide us the consolidation of all these things. All the other options are nowhere related to the question. Let us check that. Yes, this is correct. Moving on, which tasks are the customer's responsibility according to AWS shared responsibility model? Patching the operating system of Lambda, no, 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 that is not our responsibility, AWS responsibility. In fact, there is no operating system for Lambda as well. Install patches, no, that is again AWS responsibility. Control physical access, no. Configure IAM users, yes, we need to do. Configure S3 bucket, that we need to do. These two things we need to do. Correct? Yes, these two are the right choices. A company needs to monitor and receive alerts from about AWS management console sign-in events that involve AWS account root user. Cloud trial can be the right choice for this, but I don't have the cloud trial as the answer. So now I need to think through. It is like AWS config. Trusted advisor IAM is completely no. Trusted advisor also no. Needs to monitor and receive alerts. receive alerts. So typically between CloudWatch and config only, CloudTrail, if CloudTrail is present, CloudTrail can be the ideal choice. Let me mark CloudWatch and see whether it is correct or not. Yes, this is correct. CloudWatch monitors AWS resources applications real time. You can use CloudWatch with CloudTrail to monitor and receive alerts. See, ideally they must have to provide AWS CloudTrail as the answer option there. It's a tricky question. Combination of CloudWatch and CloudTrail. By doing so, we can identify the it's like the monitor and receive the alerts for the AWS root account user using the CloudWatch and CloudTrail. Okay, moving on. Which AWS service identify service groups that allow unrestricted access to AWS access to users AWS resources. Identify tricky one. Config can be the right choice. Which AWS service identifies security groups that allow unrestricted access to users AWS resources. But typically config will provide me the opportunity to identify security group changes. Say if I already configured config rules against the security group, whenever a change is made to the security group, it will notify me. That is possible with config, but identify security groups that allow unrestricted access. It's between trusted advisor and config only. I'm a bit tricky. Again, I'm not that much confident. Let me go ahead with the trusted advisor and see. Correct, trusted advisor is correct. Why not config? AWS config continuously monitor and records changes to AWS, but it does not identify security groups that allow unrestricted access. Okay, tricky. It's like a trusted advisor will identify the specific unrestricted access to the AWS account resources, right? So that's it. So we came to the end of this video. It's like hopefully we answered all these questions correct. So the idea behind this video is simple. It is like just to take you through how you can attempt the exam questions, how you can use the process of elimination, all these specific aspects on the CLF-C02, which is the newer version of the exam. Hope this video has been informative for you. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive similar sorts of videos. Thank you very much for watching.